Hello friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're gonna be giving the newbie drone BLV4 another shot tonight on the tiny lifters. See how it does with 2S. The one that I had before that that blew up had to have been a fluke, because I talked to Calvin over at Newbie Drone and he's got a 2S rig that the BLV4 has been fine on. So we should be good to go tonight. I'm going to show you guys how to do basically a BT 2.0 swap, and I'm going to show you how well, I guess we can put the we can leave the T antenna on it. Previously with the 65mm build, I took the T antenna off to save a little bit of weight, but with these tiny lifters, weight matters for sure, but it's probably only like a half a gram that we're saving. So yeah, it's kind of less important. But maybe we'll leave the, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think I can. We'll leave the T antenna on because it would be nice to have the extra range. I think it's gonna. I think the video is gonna run out long before ELRS. So I don't think it matters as much, but we always want our radio link to just super outrun the video. So I think we'll leave the T antenna on there and just jam the T antenna up into the Goober canopy, and we'll be good to go. I think that's what I did last time too. So yeah, that's what we're up to tonight. Of course, this is a Q&A stream, as they all are. In the chat, Aaron FPV was first, Christian was next, Freelojo, Frank Nicholas, Northern Tier, Alec Dvornik, Ram Donko, Flush FPV, ooh, I don't know how to say that. Paunani, I think is how you say it. Oh, I know how you say it. Scott Marshall, Ethan W, Theo Bro, Brandon's Baked Bean, CMYK FPV, Brandon Woodford, Borked, Metal Dirt Skin, there's Punani again, Michael D, Ram Donko, Bitter Root, Denzel the Terrible has arrived, Super Deluxe is in the house. What's up, homie? How you been? And Gusto FPV. If you want the Gangly Man to say your name, or if I missed you, just come to another live stream. Say something in the chat. Hey, I got a couple things that Chomper FPV sent as giveaway donations that are so specific that it doesn't really make sense to put them into a giveaway. These are super interesting. I have absolutely no idea what these. This is a GNB 420 mAh 2S high volt battery, but it only has a balance lead on it. So it's really hard to charge, right? Like you can only charge it from the balance lead, and I don't have a way of doing that. B, I just don't know what it's for. If you want to buy these two off of me, great. If you just have a really good use for them, even better. I'll send them to you for the price of shipping. Yeah, if you've got a really good use for these, let me know. But keep in mind that having only the balance lead is a super pain in the ass, especially with charging. All right. So if you have like a build that, or like a bind and fly or something like that uses these, let me know. But yeah, I mean, like technically you could put these, Metaderson says, batteries might be for a UMX Horizon hobby plane. I had one that used something similar. Super interesting. Joseph Dahari says maybe use them in a radio. So that was like my initial thought. My initial thought was that this was like an awesome, super small little like backup transmitter battery. But the problem is this doesn't fit with the door on. And also, how would you charge this, right? Like, how are you going to keep this thing charged? So yeah, I don't know about a transmitter. I don't know of any transmitters that this is going to work in. Certainly doesn't work in the QX7. So yeah, if you've got a really good use for these, let me know. I'm not going to put them in a giveaway. They'll just end up going to somebody that can't use them, and then I hate that. Here's something super specific as well. This is a Betaflight M01 AIO camera and VTX. If you've got like the Betaflight builds that need this is for you. This VTX is very specifically shaped with screw holes that are very specific sizes, and then the camera, and then the canopy. I get it. Do I get it? Does this VTX sit in this canopy? Sorta? The rear two holes line up. Interesting. I think this is... I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think of this. I think this is just basically like an all-in-one canopy with VTX and camera. But this is going to be... I don't know. If you need this, let me know. I find these canopies to be ugly as hell, and they're like a funny plastic. And yeah, I don't know. Same deal. If you want this, let me know. And it comes with a bunch of screws in it. But yeah, this should, it looks like this should be used specifically for the it's also got a plug header. They don't give you, yeah, so that you got to have the, oh no, that plug header is for this camera. So I guess this would work. I guess this is just a VTX and camera all in one solution. So this kind of does make sense for the giveaways, to be honest, because the problem is the Betaflight VTXs are kind of garbage. Maybe this makes sense for a giveaway because it is a canopy. So like, if somebody wants this, let me know. Francis McBean says Betaflight canopies used to be made of actual eggshells, literal eggshells. Yeah, if somebody really wants and or needs this, let me know. Eventually, this is going to make its way into the giveaways, though, because if you've got an AIO that does not have a built-in VTX, which some don't, this is a perfectly good camera and canopy system. And I've actually heard nice things about the Betaflight camera. A lot of, not a lot, but some folks really love the Betaflight cameras. There was one specific Betaflight camera that I've heard people like rave about. It might be called the CO1. I'm not sure. But yeah, if anybody wants either one of those, let me know and I'll sell them to you cheap. I mean, I have some other stuff that's just been kind of sitting down here that I don't want to put into giveaways. This is a CiottiFPV V2 frame and 2 of the AIOs. So if anybody has the super duper beginner Betaflight CiottiFPV and they need a new AIO or the frame, this frame actually also has the camera in it. Let me know. I'll hook you up with this cheap. 2 cameras, it looks like. 2 cameras, 2 AIOs. The CiottiFPV is a rig that doesn't perform all that well. It's really heavy. This frame is super heavy, but it's really meant for beginners. It has an optical, a downward-facing optical sensor. RAM, I have no idea what the weight is, but yeah. The AIOs are called CiottiFPV Pro V1.3. That's not what they're called. That's what they're silkscreened with. So yeah, if anybody's got a CiottiFPV Pro that you need a new frame for, or new AIOs for, let me know. What else is in here? Any other wacky stuff in here? I mean, there is a Axis flying. This actually has some value. Not for anybody that's going to do professional work with it. This is the Axis flying box. This you got to buy from me. But yeah, this is because I bought this from Joshua. This is the Axis flying box. It comes with a HDMI cable and a USB cable. This is not for professional use. Apparently, it's not reliable enough for professional use, so I've never used it. But yeah, if you want an Axis flying box, I've got one for you. I think I bought it off of Joshua for like 80 bucks or something. So yeah, if you're interested in that, let me know. What is this? This is a set of Betaflight motors 0803 12,000 kV 1mm motor shaft. Wow, there's all kinds of stuff in here. I forgot about this bag of stuff. This is a big old bag of tiny whoop motors. There are all kinds of motors in here. There are some 1103, 4-bolt 1103, 11,000 kV motors. There are some T-motor 0803s. Alright, I gotta go through this bag and figure out what this stuff is, and I'm not gonna do it. Hey look, that's a Caddx Tarsier with a broken camera. If you need a Caddx Tarsier, just the 20x20 stack, apparently I have one of those. What in the world? Look at all this stuff in here. I guess I've just been like throwing stuff in here and not really thinking much about it. This is a big old bag of tiny whoop motor screws. If you need any of them, apparently I've got a whole shitload of them. These are the little brass collars for the, oh wait, no, these are the too long, these are the collars that are too long. These are the brass collars that are too long. I'm gonna throw these away, because these don't really work on any of the ducts. That sucks, because I paid for those. Caddx Baby Ratel 2 camera frame, like the actual outside part of the camera. None of the inside parts of the camera, though. I gotta put this stuff in a little bag here. There's just a bunch of stuff floating around in this bag of stuff. This is, I have no idea. This is a, some sort of a split camera 20x20 board. I would need to, at one point I knew what that was. Tiny whoop motor screws, more tiny whoop motor screws. Some FPV cycle mounts. This is a, what's this, a Hero 10 mount? 10, 11, 12 mount? For a Cinesplorer or a Glide or, I don't know. Oh, this is cool. This is a little Hero 8 white floppy cover. It's kind of cool that's white, you know what I mean? One of these Hero 7, Hero 5, 6, 7 face hugger things from Ethics. These are hard to find. Apparently, the people look for these. Maybe not anymore, though. Nobody flies a Hero 7 anymore. And then this is a 20x20 ESC that works, but I think it's kind of on its way out. So you would not want to fly this like unrecoverable. But I remember that this does work. But yeah, if you push it really hard, if I remember correctly, it will drop out of the sky. That's it. That's what I got. Random stuff. Some random motors. Are these Zing motors? These are Zing 0803s. There's a set of Zing 0803s in here. I think there's only 3 of them, though, maybe. And then, yeah, there's T-motor 803s in here as well. Some stuff, yo. Who wants some stuff? Putting it away. Putting the stuff away. Axis box might be cool. They're good things. It's solid as a brick, man. It's like fucking... Listen to that. You know you want it just to be able to flick it and make that noise with it. No? Okay. Alright. In the chat, if you want to talk directly to me, all you gotta do is type CiottiFPV, and it'll light up an orange, and I'll know that you're talking to me. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't know what the deal is with this. Let's see who tagged me so far. Get caught up a little bit. Ramdango says, more ice equals, hey, CiottiFPV just got a Mobula 6 clear canopy. What is the offset piece of plastic equals the one on an angle? That is the camera mount, Ramdanko. What's it called? Mobula 6. The Mobula 6 canopy only really works with the Runcam Nano 3 camera. And the Runcam Nano 3 camera has 2 holes in the top corners. And then there's this weird little piece that you get with the canopy, and that piece screws to the camera. The screws go through the camera, through the front of the camera into that piece, and then that piece sits in the canopy and gets screwed into the canopy from the outside. CMYK says, yo, what's up, CiottiFPV and Gangly Gang? Michael D says, hello. Still waiting on Newbie Drone to release a firmware update to fix the BLV4 OSD issue. Apparently, if you keep all of your OSD elements on the bottom, it doesn't have an issue. Apparently, the issue is from putting OSD elements up on the top of the screen. I haven't tried it, but the BLV4 that blew up previously on 2S on the Tiny Lifter, that was totally fine. The OSD was completely fine on that. So, but yeah, they are working on a firmware update that they're saying will fix it. Metal Anderson says, no, we got that. Ramdongo says, RC car, flatbed, 420, 2S, CiottiFPV. The K car did come with a little charger. Is that charger just a balance lead charger? Hot damn it is. Well, sorry guys, these batteries are mine now, because I can charge them. The main reason I wanted them gone is because I couldn't charge them, but the K-Truck comes with a 2S balance lead charger, and but the K-Truck battery, uses some weird ass connector to hook it up to the truck, and so these still won't work. But if I can find a good use for these, I do have a charger for them, which is interesting. But I still don't have a good use for these. I just don't have anything that runs off of, I don't have anything that runs off of balance leads, other than my QX7, and they won't really fit in there. Oops. Dropped them. Yeah, if one of you guys has a good use for these, let me know. You get them. But good call. Good reminder on that. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm a little bit behind on shipping, guys. Forgive me. I'm gonna try to get caught up tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, giveaways and stuff will get shipped out tomorrow, hopefully. Denzel the Terrible says, Medicines might be right. I just swapped my plane to XT30. I think that was it. Not sure where the old plug went to check. Interesting. Medicine says, it's a put FPV on something dumb kit. Kind of, but what do you do with the balance lead? Like, how do you power something off the balance lead, right? Like, it's got you're gonna have two individual 1S voltage outputs. I don't know, it's weird. It's weird, man. It's very weird. Very weird that there's no power plug on them. Denzo the Terrible says, Horizon Hobby says they are JST-PH connectors. That's what their planes take. That sounds awful familiar. I think JST-PH is balance lead. Don't quote me on that, but I think it might be. Not sure. Bork says, do a bag of crap giveaway with no extra money required from us. No entry money required for us poor folks. Yeah, but then somebody's just going to get a bag of shit that they don't use. I have the unique opportunity of having, more than 5 viewers. So a lot of times I can talk about this stuff and find somebody that's actually going to use it. I hate when like free stuff goes out and then it just sits, right? At least if it's sitting here, I can talk about it and maybe find somebody who's gonna like use it right away. So I'd rather do that. June Loco says, damn it, build a 1S HD Whoop now. I already have, June. I was not impressed. The the 4 or so gram weight penalty of HD really spoils the flight characteristics and the durability, and the increase in like video quality is just not impressive at all. Walk snail I think makes a lot more sense, but walk snail is an 8+ gram penalty, and that's gonna really and that so that kind of takes you out of 65mm territory and puts you into 75mm territory. I would love to do that, but the price is just absurd, right? Like that ends up being like a $900 1S build, because I have to spend $500+ on the goggles, almost $200 on the VTX and the camera, right? Kind of doesn't make sense to only buy one. Then so it's just absurdly expensive. I would love to do it someday, but yeah, not now. I can't afford that right now. But Erickson says that Baby Raw tail case is from the... Oh, it is. When FPV Crate sent one without the IR filter in it. That's the replacement with filter. It is indeed. It is indeed. Good call, Metal. I forgot about that. They sent the note in the bag explaining what the hell it was. Denzel the Trouble says, if no one else wants the red GoPro 10 mount for the Glide, I will buy it off you. I can print my own, so it should go to someone in need. Dan, next time I'm shipping you something, I'll just throw it in there. You just got to remind me. I have a blue one as well, and they're from Brain 3D, so they're awesome quality. Not of This World says the I own Evan No bag. Oh, the I don't even know bag. Motherson says, did you notice some Mobula 6 canopies have 4 screw holes and some only have 3? It literally just saw that we're working on the Whoop Fleet. Yeah, so that's the difference between a Mobula 6 canopy and a Mobula 7 canopy. Although I think that all of the canopies now have that front hole. But yeah, if you buy a Mobula 6, typically you'll get a canopy with only the 3 rear mount holes, and then if you buy a Mobula 7, it'll have that front one. The new clear canopies though have that front hole, so and that front little piece for the front mounting hole, it doesn't really weigh anything. So I think that at some point here, all of them will be 4-hole canopies. Michael D says, I had not heard about putting the elements on the bottom. I'll try it out next time I fly the BLV4. Sounds good. So let us know. I haven't tried it, Michael D. It's something that I saw on Facebook, so it's probably wrong. Ethan W says, I'm pretty sure I can charge and use those batteries with my Zorro radio. If you want them, they're all yours, brother. Michael D says, use the 2S 420s to provide power to a VTX and camera for the K-Truck. Just need a female 2S balance plug. Yeah, but then I've got the two balance leads coming out. You know what I mean? Like, do I just connect those? And for the K-Truck, I was just gonna throw a BT 2.0 on it and just use these so that I'm using all the same batteries. I'm sure I have a 2S balance lead around here somewhere. Yeah, can I just take those the two power leads and do this with them? Brunswick Bean says the outer pins are series voltage. So if I hook up just the one power pin on the very outside and the ground pin on the very outside, that will be, I assume that would just be hooking up the one cell. So I assumed that would just drag the one cell down and the other cell would be fully charged. Butterson says that's how it powers the plane. It just uses the 2 outermost wires. Is that real? Is that how it works? I didn't know that. I thought that each one of these power leads went to each cell. One cell is using the middle pin and one is... Yeah, so we wouldn't want to do that. That would... I mean, I guess it really wouldn't matter. Well, here. I could just hook up a multimeter and figure this out real quick, because it's nice to know how things work sometimes. Yeah, I guess it technically wouldn't matter, just dragging the outside, dragging the one cell down over and over again. I mean, it wouldn't be good for the battery, but, like, who cares, right? Let's see. Ground. And... Come on, fart bag. Come on now. Don't tell me the battery just went dead on this multimeter. Alright, let's see. Ground and outside pin. What? Ground. And outside pin. What the hell? Why is that not working? Ground? Oh, I see why. I'm not hitting the little latches. 13! Why is the voltage going down so fast? 12? No, that's millivolts. That's millivolts. It's not getting anything. What the fuck? Bueller? Why am I not able to do this? Why do I have herpes? What's going on here? What? Why can't I? That's touching, isn't it? Do I have gonorrhea? What's going on here? What? Does the multimeter not work? What's happening here? Oh, fuck you. Nah, multimeter works fine. I'm just, for some reason, completely unable to get these probes to touch the but I can see, like, I can see them touching. What the fuck? Hold on. Oh my god, this is... I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't care. Somebody take these away from me. Alright. Let's just get to work on this tiny lifter. Yeah. Alright. Here we go. Tiny lifter time. So I'm gonna pull apart. So I've got two different tiny lifter builds right now. One of them's on Betaflight 1102 18,000 kV motors, and it's all black. And then the other one is on the Newbie Drone Flow 1102 10,000 kV motors. The Newbie Drone Flow motors are significantly heavier. Both of these have BLV4 AIOs in them, and then an external EP2, Happy Model EP2 ELRS receiver. And so what I was kind of thinking is that I switch over to the BLV4 on the heavier one of these to bring the weight down more in line, so that the two of them are as close together in terms of weight as possible. I think the weight difference is only going to be 1 gram because that's what the EP2 weighs, but every little bit helps. The heavier one with the Newbie Drone flow motors, sorry guys, with the Newbie Drone flow motors is 37.4 grams, and then the one with the Betaflight motors is 34.8 grams. So 34.8, 37.4. So 37.4 will basically come down to like 36 point something. I mean, I don't need 2 of them. I built 2 in order to test the motors and the propellers and stuff. I actually had 3 of them built at one point. Just because I had an extra AIO floating around and I wanted to do another head-to-head test with the PH 2.0 connectors versus the double BT 2.0. And that was a complete fail. The PH 2.0 connectors are just useless. Like, I got like 100 minutes less runtime. So, yeah. Last time I did this swap, I did it in the clear one under that same kind of thinking. I hate taking... I was going to do... Before I thought about the weight thing, I was going to do the swap tonight in the black one. That's why that's in the thumbnail. Basically, just so that I'm not taking this clear one all apart again, and then if this BLV4 again blows up, I'll have to put this back together again with the V3 AIO in it. When you're screwing into plastic, I mean, just in general, you want to try to not take shit apart over and over and over and over and over again, because it stresses the parts out. Every single screw hole gets a little bit more stressed out every time you pull it apart. But I think it's gonna be fine. I don't know. I'm also kind of tempted to take the camera out of this black rig. I for science put in a 199C camera into this thing, which I'm not sure if it's any better or not. It was a really popular camera back in the toothpick days. Michael D has developed an issue with his Mobula 7 HD. Video is clear unarmed. When I arm, there are lines in the video feed. Any ideas? That's super weird. The HD systems are really supposed to like kill the video noise problems. Oh man, I have no idea. Has anybody ever known the HD video systems to get noise? I thought that was one of the real big benefits to them, is that they don't have those kind of issues. I have no idea which of these rigs to do the swap on. I think I'm going to do it on the clear one, just from a weight perspective. Although it would be kind of cool to have one of these be like really lightweight, like as lightweight as possible. Way Chunky says, could it be a bad ground that happens on analog? Yeah, I don't think so. I think all of that stuff went away with the digital systems. I mean, if it were me, I would just go through all of the troubleshoots that we've had with analog systems, right? Add a capacitor, Jesus Christ. Add a capacitor, check your grounds, stuff like that. I don't think that's... Northern Tier says loose MIPI cable. I would check that first. I would check that first for sure. Because I think that all of the ground checking that you're going to do is going to be a waste of time. I don't think that's going to do anything. So I would save that till last. So yeah, let's get going on this. Let me move the chat over a little bit here so I can actually see it. Oh, Mobula. Oh, you've got one of the non. You're talking about one of the non HD0. Okay, yeah. So, over on my Patreon page, actually, there is. Go up to the top of my Patreon, and there's a bunch of little tag things that you can click. Click Tech Talk. The Tech Talk tag will open up a bunch of stuff, and there's a really good article in there. Like, I kind of summarize it, but then there's a link to, I believe it's an Oscar Liang article talking about yeah, troubleshooting video noise. Yeah, so you got to go through the standard analog video noise troubleshoots, Michael D, and you'll find it. So yeah, the big one though, the big one is just trying to get your you want to try to get your camera ground onto the same pad as your VTX ground. That doesn't make any sense though, because the VTX is probably built in, right? Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of a different troubleshoot for you. But yeah, there's going to be a bunch of suggestions in there, and you should be good to go. I'm going to assume, I'm going to take a guess that noise is not also in the recorded video, right? It's only on the it's only on the FPV feed, right? That's going to be my theory there. So let's get this BLV4 swapped over. And back in the days that like everybody flew analog, I used to know what, like, horizontal lines mean one thing, diagonal lines mean another thing, and I used to know, but that knowledge is long gone, even though I still fly analog quite a bit. I'm trying to think about that rig. I'm trying to think of where the VTX is. I think the VTX is built into the AIO on that rig, so you're not going to be able to share grounds. When did it start doing it? That's always our best first stop on the troubleshooting journey, is like, when did it start? Did it start after a crash? Did it start after removing a capacitor? That kind of thing. Alright, so we are taking apart a perfectly good tiny lifter here. Maybe not. This camera plug is like welded in here. What the hell's up with this? There it goes. Usually I have trouble with those camera plugs wanting to fall out. That one was like buried in there. So yeah, hit the Patreon page, click Tech Talk on top, and then scroll down a little bit. Basically, every single time I post on Patreon, I add a tag or two to the bottom, and then so up on the top of the page, it shows all of those tags. And what's really handy is it shows you how many posts have those tags in them, and it prioritizes them. So there's a lot of posts that are tagged Tech Talk, so that's up pretty high on the list. It shows you like the top 5, and then you can drill down farther. So yeah, there's that. All right, so let's get this double BT 2.0 lead removed from here, and we will transfer it over to the BLV4, and yeah, we'll get going here. Did I break the tip of this completely off? I did indeed. Look at that. I broke the tip of one of these tweezer prongs completely off in a tiny whoop propeller the other night. Couldn't believe it. What's going on? What are we doing? We're doing this. Okay. So here we go. All right, these grommets are falling off. Let's just take all 4 of them off. All right. Yeah, this will be fine. Doing it like this. Soldering iron is up to temperature. We're going to put some flux paste on here so that we get some good heat transfer between the tip of the soldering iron and this BT 2.0 lead here. This is an old double BT 2.0 lead that Betaflight used to sell. You could just make it. The little jumper here is between the positive and the negative. So you go positive on one connector to negative on the other, and then the positive and negatives come out of the other ports and go to the flight controller, AIO, whatever you're putting it on. Really handy for me to have it set up like this, because then I can use the same batteries on all of my tiny whoops. And this Cockroach 75 frame comes with little TPU pieces so that you can do exactly that, so that you can put the standard 300 mAh batteries top and bottom. It's really, really nice, really slick little setup. Kind of the cornerstone of the tiny lifter, to be honest. All right, so the white cable on here is ground. That's going to take a little bit more time. So just be patient. Let that heat get in there, and then we're good to go. And then while you've got the PCB hot, the positive lead is going to pop right off. No big deal. All right, so perfectly good BLV3 with an EP2. Actually, let's do this. Let's weigh this. I'm very curious what this weighs compared to the BLV4. Sorry, I'm curious as to what this weighs with an an external ELRS receiver compared to the BLV4. Michael D says the Mobula 7 HD uses a RunCam Split 3 Lite, and the wiring with the included logger is a pain in the ass. Yeah. I know that rig. That is a pain in the ass. I'll go through Tech Talks to check it out. Thank you, everyone. Certainly welcome, dude. Oh, fuck you. All right, all better. All right, BLV4 is in the house. So let's take off the video antenna. All right. And Oh, I'm gonna need to desolder the PH 2.0. Hold on. Hey, somebody. No, we're fine. I was gonna say somebody type into chat that the ground is by the mounting hole, but I already know that. That's kind of the common way of doing it at this point, is to put most of these AIOs, they put the ground towards the edge, which it's kind of nice that there's almost a standardization there. I think that T-Motor does not do that though, but they didn't put a current sensor on theirs, so I don't know about them. Had a call with Joshua and the guys today, our weekly ultimate shopping list call for Joshua's website, and everybody agreed that we're going to go down to just one freestyle 65mm build instead of having the cheap and easy build and the high quality build. So I got a bunch more work to do on that, but that'll be good. All right, so PH 2.0 lead is removed. I'm going to leave this T antenna on here initially, and weigh this BLV4 in like its fattest configuration. So BLV4 coming in at 5.4 grams. Hold on, this camera is all cloudy because the Logitech software is not running. It also looks like I smacked the camera. There we go, it's a little bit better. 5.4 grams, and then BLV3 with an external EP2. Unbelievable. 5.4 grams. Why did this camera not clean up a little bit when I launched this software? What the hell's going on? Quit Logitech G-Hub. Come on, Logitech. Stop being just awful. Hold on. There it goes. Wow, that's weird. I had to launch the software twice. 5.4 versus 5.4. Is that right? Yeah. Awesome. I think it's because of this T antenna. Let's take this T antenna off. Will it even register on there? Yeah, it will. Half a gram. Let's see if that comes down to 5.0. No, it comes even farther down. Well, nope. Yeah, there it is. 5.0 with the single, just the single antenna. So here, let me put the other. Well, this was stupid. God damn it! I knew I should have put this on the black rig. Maybe I will just run this. No, it's not worth it for 0.4 of a gram. That's dumb. It's not worth it for 0.4 of a gram. That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. Yeah, I'm still gonna run this. I'm gonna run this T antenna because range. Although I gotta be honest, with a tiny whoop, if I outfly, Michael D says, remember CiottiFPV ground grommet. What's that mean? Oh, ground grommet, right? Ground is by the grommet. That's smart. With a 5-inch rig, it makes a lot of sense to give some extra effort to your and range to your your controller, your transmitter link over the video, because like if you go far and then you lose video, you can like blip the throttle and you can still like kind of see where you were, or hear where you were rather, and then you have a chance at getting home. With a tiny whoop, like if you go 20 feet away, you can't hear it anymore. So it really doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to prioritize that, or even really like think about that. So yeah, I don't know about that. I was just looking to see if the T antenna is long, if the wire on the T antenna is long enough to mount it out back here. They on the Cockroach 75 frame, they put a couple little hooks in the back here for a T antenna, but the cable on this guy is just believe me, fuck you, it's too short. God damn it. All right. Man, I'm really tempted to rip the black rig apart and put this into there, but that would just be stupid. So, okay, let's get this guy soldered down, and we'll just throw it back together. Freeler just says, I think you and Patrick ran into it the other night, racing with the 65s. What did we run into? This rig? Was I saying something's like messed up? What did we run into? What did we run into? All right, just getting some flux paste on here. This syringe like kind of leaks a little bit, so there's always like a little bit of flux paste on the outside of the tubey bit, and so I'm just trying to like scrape it off here. That's why it looks like it's, yeah, if you're wondering why I'm applying this flux paste in a weird way, that's what's happening. Oh, the Logitech, the camera, okay. Yeah, that might be why it's knocked out a little bit. All right, here we go. Ground out by the grommet. And let's come in at a little bit of an angle here. So these newbie drone boards use the little, I always forget what they're called, crenellations? Crampuses? They're little cups on the outside of the PCB, and then you put the wire into the cup. They're really nice. Nice and strong that way. It's the convenience of a pad, but almost the strength of a through hole. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that was a good one. First try and everything. Let me take a look. Yeah, we good. Yep. All right, cool. So now we are ready to go with 2S on this little fella. I hope the problem is not the fact that I'm doing 2S high voltage. I hope that's not the issue. I wouldn't think so. But I guess we'll know if this one blows up, whether that was the what's going on here. So fish your little battery leads through here, and then the one thing that you want to pay attention to with the BLV4 is you've got this antenna on the bottom, so you want to make sure that you don't like pinch it anywhere. I like to run it out the back. There is a little notch here though. So what I like to do with it is run it along with the battery lead. I run it down the bottom, and then that just kind of gets it out of the way for now. And then later on, I'm going to run it up and into this little notch in the Cockroach 75 frame. So let's get our grommets on here. These are the Betaflight clear grommets. They fit this AIO a little bit better than the included newbie drone grommets. The The included newbie drone grommets are like the super generic grommets. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I like these little Betaflight clear ones. Betaflight sells a kit with 3 different grommets: clear, blue, and black. And the difference between the grommets is in the thickness of the slot. And this clear grommet is like the middle one, and it the thickness of these newbie drone AIOs is like the exact same thickness of these clear grommets. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it makes 1% of a difference. Maybe not, but hey. And yeah, here's a little antenna wire just kind of slotting in here. There's 2 little cutouts on the bottom here as well. So yeah, this frame is this Cockroach 75 frame has a bunch of cool little cutouts that kind of help things sit properly. It's a great little frame. I really dig this Cockroach 75 frame. I admittedly do wish that it was just a little bit more durable. I wish they'd used slightly thicker plastic on these outside part of the ducts. But, I mean, with a tiny lifter, you really shouldn't be crashing it. You're going to crash it because we always crash. But, yeah. The positive is it's a little bit lighter weight this way. So, yeah, that's how it sits. It just goes in there, and then it sits in this little slot. And then I'll probably put a little dab of welder in there. But not quite yet. For right now, we'll just let it kind of hang out here. I did that last time. I just assumed that the AIO would be good to go, and I got this like all perfectly glued down and everything, and then the AIO blew up. And I was like, oh, well, glad I didn't half-ass anything and save a little bit of time. But hopefully that was a fluke, and this one will be good to go. If not, if this one acts unruly like the last one and or blows up really quickly, I'm going to have to try to snag as many of the BLV3s as I can because, yeah, I want to keep these tiny lifters going for a while. I love this build. I love the whole picking up an Insta 360 Go 2 as light as and as quietly as humanly possible. Even though I don't do anything with it. But I will. I got to start flying this thing around. I really want to take it to like malls and shit. For the Ramdonko says, so if digital FPV isn't cinema quality, what's the race? Compared to what's the race? Compared to high-powered analog carrying an appropriate camera, my chauffeur asks. What's the race? High-powered analog carrying a good camera, you can't see where you're going. Digital FPV carrying a high... So, yeah, that's why most people do digital FPV and then a proper camera. The O3 system is kind of blurring the lines there because it's nowhere near cinema quality. GoPro has that in the bag still, for sure. But it does blur the lines, and I don't think there's any argument to the fact that like compared to like the DJI Action 2 or the Session 5, the O3 system is pretty much exactly the same. So it kind of doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense anymore. So if you have the money, right, because it's a hell of an investment. If you have the money, it doesn't make much sense to drag around anything lighter than like a Hero 8, 9, 10, 11. Which is annoying as hell because I have a whole bunch of Session 5s. But that's fine. I can't afford the O3 system anyway. And the O3 system is not all fucking roses and I don't know. Insert word that is funny. Frank Nicholas just messaged me. YouTube reverses course on controversial swearing. Nice. Good for you, YouTube. Let me say fucking fuck all I want, you shitbags. That's really cool. So yeah. That's what I think about that. What do I do? Do I run the T antenna? I should run the T antenna. It's cool looking. And, yeah. 0.4 of a gram ain't shit. So, I'm going to shove this T antenna up above the... Well, yeah, I guess I should shove it up above there. And then just run this forward. How the hell am I going to get this to make the angle, though? Got to get this to come down through there. Oh, boy, this is... Well, maybe I'll just loop it through one. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. And so that's coming down through there. Let's just grab this guy. And all right. All set. So, yeah, that'll make a really sharp angle there, but that'll be fine. So, well, no, I'm gonna put it under both. Man, it is crowded up in this canopy with the in the tiny lifters, especially with this particular one here. I've got a I could turn the soldering iron off. This one here, I've got a Caddx Ant camera in here, which has a little which has this little lead for hooking up a camera remote to adjust the settings on the camera, which is kind of nice. I've still yet to do that. I still need to do that on this rig. There we go. Now we're good. I still need to do that on this rig. I need to hook up the controller and turn the brightness way the hell. I mean, I just need to dial this camera in to the Newbie drone kind of crappy OSD, not OSD, but like video feed. That was the whole point of cramming this camera in here. All right, so the longest cable goes to the little IPEX here for the T antenna, so let's hook that up first. And then we'll hook up the... Okay, great. So then we're going to hook up the camera lead. And I'm just going to run that over here like this. And then the last thing I'm going to hook up is going to be the Singularity antenna. Blizzard FPV with a $5 Canadian super chat. He says, 5 sweet Canadian healthcare bucks. Thank you so much, brother. Much appreciated. Let me get that updated in a second here. Let's just get this guy. Man, this is hands down the hardest part of the Newbie drone builds, is getting these little plugs plugged in. They just like don't want to go in their little homes, and all the wires are really short. I like that all the wires are short, but it just makes getting some of this plugged in a little frustrating. And I don't have much patience right now, if I'm completely honest, but we'll get it. There we go. So what I find is that like thin-tipped tweezers help me get it lined up on the plug, and then I just use my fingernail to get it plugged in the rest of the way. There we go. All right, great. Let me get this updated here. Thank you, brother. 390 goes to 395. Awesome. Thank you, homie. Okay, so now we're going to run this. This is a custom length singularity that Hugo made for me. If you order directly from TrueRC, you can just put in your order notes any specific length that you want. This is in between the length of the ultra short and the regular short. And it ends up like exiting perfectly like this. It's like just long enough, but not too long. So that's pretty cool. I don't really think it's worth the extra effort, to be honest with you. Ordering directly from TrueRC, you're going to have to pay shipping. So yeah, just get the don't get the ultra short. The ultra short will not work. Get the regular short singularity UFL if you're doing this build, and it'll just stick out a little bit more. It'll be totally fine. I was already leaving order notes, and I figured what's one more sentence in the order notes. You know what I mean? So here's what I'm talking about. Like this screw is going in here like really easily now because I've taken this thing apart a whole bunch of times. I should have stuck with the thumbnail image and pulled the black rig apart, because it has been taken apart a few less times. So, but luckily these are the crazy long Mobula 7 screws, so they thread in really far, so that I shouldn't run into issues with them stripping out. If they do, I'll just need to get another one of these clear canopies. All right, we are good to go. All we need to do is plug the motors back in, and then we'll do a little bit of Betaflight setup, and then we'll pretty much be good to go. See if this BLV4 can stand up to the abuse of the tiny lifters. This is the tiny lifter with the Newbie Drone Flow 1102 10,000 kV motors. These are the exact same motors that Kelvin has on his 2S BLV4 rig. Okay. That's tight. That's tight. Whenever you're doing these tiny lifter builds, you always want to like grab your canopy and just move it around a little bit to make sure that these screws are tight enough. And then, yeah, we got our little T antenna up in here. Looking all cool. Look at that. All right, so, yeah, I'm just going to leave this antenna kind of hanging here for the time being. But if this thing works, I'll just put a little tiny dab of glue to hold this. That's the diversity part of the, I don't think it's true diversity though, but yeah, it's the second Express ELRS antenna that's on this thing. So motors, let's get you guys plugged in here. Ramdango says, just got some clear Mobula 6 canopies, looks way smaller than I expected. Ram, where'd you get them from? Last I checked, Tiny Whoop and AliExpress, I believe it was, were the only ones that had those clear Mobula 6 canopies. I'm curious if anybody else has them yet. Last time I looked was a couple of weeks ago. So maybe they're starting to make their way to different spots, which would be cool because Tiny Whoop ran out. And although Jesse from Tiny Whoop did not sell all of the clear canopies that he got. He saved a whole bunch of them because he's going to be dyeing them. So that'll be really cool to have some custom colored Mobula 6 canopies. That'll be really slick, actually. Come on, man, get in there. There we go. This is a fiddly build for sure. Be warned. Felt a little pop. I don't know what the hell that was. I want to make sure it wasn't the screw pushing out of the canopy. Let me retighten this just to make sure. Yeah, no, it's fine. That's still nice and tight. Cool. All right, and then we got... Okay. I just had a moment of panic that I put this thing together front to back, but we're good. Okay. And there we go. All right, all 4 motors are plugged back in, and the plugs look to be seated all the way. Yeah, everything. Nope. Hold on. Just give this one another little push here. Okay, we're good. Let's get this into Betaflight, and I'm going to try to change as little as possible. Last time I did like a diff and copied a ton of settings over from the BLV3, which should be completely fine, but this time I'm going to try to not do that. I'm just going to bring like minimal stuff over, and I don't know, maybe that'll make a difference. So let me plug in the BLV3 first, and I'm going to just grab a couple of things from the diff. There's some stuff that can't possibly have anything to do with them blowing up. So let's take a look here. Move the chat back over. All right. CLI, and then we're just going to type DIFF, and that's going to show you everything that has changed from the factory setup here. Air mode, SPI and serial, that's totally fine. This is totally fine. The beacon's completely fine as well. This is the TAER in the receiver tab. That's okay. The LED situation is a little bit different on this rig, so we're not going to copy those over. So let's just grab this little chunk here and text edit. We're going to open up a new document. We'll just drop it in here. So there we go. And now let's keep going. Here's more LED stuff, mode color. Your aux stuff, that's totally fine to bring over. That's just your switches. The adjustable range is my little custom OSD setup, so we're going to bring that over. VTX table, I'm not going to bring over. It's a really weird looking little VTX table set up there in the CLI. I think I'm on the new, I think I grabbed the new Betaflight configurator. And maybe that's why this looks so weird. But yeah, we're going to leave that alone. In our master section here, we've got like gyro low pass filter. I'm not going to bring those over. Dynamic notch count 2, not going to bring that over. Accelerometer calibration, not going to bring that over. Min check and max check, I can bring that over. That's just from the receiver tab. This RC smoothing stuff, I'm going to leave that alone. Not going to bring that. Set serial RX crossfire out, you that. Failsafe delay, I am going to bring that. Battery capacity, I'm going to bring that. Yaw reversed, I'm going to bring that. Deadband, yes. Yaw deadband, yes. PID process denom 2, I'm not going to bring that. So just this little chunk here. Simplified gyro filter multiplier. I don't even know what the hell that is. Not going to bring that. Here's all my OSD stuff. I am going to bring these. Set OSD units Imperial, blah, 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 blah. All the OSD stuff is all chunked up together, so that's great. And then we've got a bunch of VTX stuff. I'm not going to bring that over. So this is just the OSD items. So we got those. FreeSky SPI transmitter ID. This is all stuff from Express ELRS. We don't need that now that it's UART based and it's on board. RPM filter harmonics 1. RPM filter Q. I'm going to leave those out as well. I'm going to grab the name. Take that. So basically what I'm doing here is this is going to come over as if you were to build a fresh tiny lifter. I'm only bringing over the stuff that is like unique to me. My switches, my receiver stuff, my OSD stuff. None of this stuff that I'm bringing over affects performance in any way so far. D-term low pass filter, nope, leaving all that. Anti-gravity gain, leaving that. I-term relax, leaving that. Nope, leave it. I am going to grab the PID sum. Because this rig just needs the PID sum to be cranked all the way up. So I am going to grab those too. Next up is all the PID stuff. I'm not going to bring any of that. We're going to see how it is on the stock PIDs. Feed forward stuff, I'm going to leave it. This is all the slider stuff. I'm going to leave all that. Dynamic idle, leaving that. I'm going to grab my rates though. And hold on. And the throttle midpoint and the throttle expo. Yeah, that's in here too. So, all right. So I have not grabbed anything that affects performance. Rates don't affect performance in any way. So I'm going to highlight this whole page and I'm going to copy it. And now we're going to disconnect the BLV3. And we're going to hook up the BLV4. And we're going to paste that into the CLI, and that's going to bring, like, what I've done here is, like, quality of life stuff, essentially. So we're going to fly this thing as if it's completely right out of the box. Kevin Sumner says, do you run the same smoothing on all your rigs or different between Cine and Freestyle? I do run the same smoothing on everything initially, and then if I'm not happy with the way that the rig is flying, I will change some stuff, but usually I don't, because usually it's like, it's only really the tiny whoops that all stray. All right, let's calibrate the accelerometer. Not that we're ever going to use it, but, and then we'll come into the CLI, and we're just going to drop that entire thing. Look for red text. Red text means that what you've pasted in is not able to be understood. And then we're going to hit save. All right. And let's connect here. All right, ports tab. We did not change anything on the... Shit. Did I bring over ports tab stuff? I didn't mean to. Hopefully I didn't. Hopefully I didn't change anything in the ports tab. We'll know by whether or not the damn thing works or not. Configuration, I brought everything over. D-shot beacon is turned on. Arming angle is set to 180. LED strip is on. OSD is on. I'm going to permanently enable air mode. I don't know why that didn't come over. That's weird. Let's connect again. Just double check the config tab here. Accelerometer is on. Board orientation is good. All right, we're cool. Power and battery, I did not change anything. I did. I did bring some stuff over. I brought the capacity over here. Let me up the minimum cell voltage and the warning voltage. I just upped it by a value of 0.1. 2.9 to 3 for the minimum cell voltage, and then the warning cell voltage 3.2 to 3.3. And then the capacity of 300 here. Failsafe, that came over with the 3-second guard time. Don't really need any presets in theory, although I wonder what... Yeah, they've already got a preset loaded up here for Express LRS. That's great. So here's the tune that this thing comes with. I hate that it comes with the DMAX turned off, so I'm going to turn the DMAX back on and save it. I'm going to leave everything else alone. They've got the master multiplier cranked up to 1.6. That's a lot, and I'm going to back that off. That's a bit much. I'm going to move it to I'm going to bring it down to 1.2. They've also got the D gains cranked up to 1.4. I'm going to bring that down to 1.2. Yeah, let's leave it there. Save that. They've got the feed forward jitter reduction down here at 8. I'm going to move that up to 15. That's going to add some stick smoothing, and it's going to really smooth out the ELRS signal. I-term relax is set to 10. That's great. Anti-gravity is set to 10. That's really aggressive. I'm going to drop that down to 5. 5 is pretty aggressive. So, yeah. I'm going to take... So, I'm going to, like, chill this thing out a little bit, basically, is what I'm not making this thing more aggressive. Dynamic damping advance, I'm going to take that to 0. The gain, I'm just going to make it a round number, up at 40. Motor output limit is 100%. That's okay, because these motors are only 10,000 kV. Throttle boost, I'm actually going to bring down. I don't love throttle boost. I'm going to bring it down to 2, actually. Dynamic idle is off because D-shot telemetry is off. We're going to deal with that in a bit, but initially here we're going to try this thing without RPM filtering. VBAT sag compensation I don't really like, so I'm going to turn that off. Thrust linearization of 20 is pretty aggressive. I'm going to bring that down to 10. So yeah, I'm a little bit gun shy. I don't want this thing to blow up. So I'm just backing some stuff off here. This all looks good. This is as it ships out of the box. Really strong D-term filter multiplying at 1.0. And then gyro, we're going to move this up. There's no reason for this gyro. I mean, we can pretty much turn this shit off, but we'll leave it on just for a little bit of a safety net. But I am gonna push this gyro filter slider all the way up to 2.0. All right, that looks good. Serial UART and crossfire for the ELRS. And then I'm going to up this auto factor to 100 just for, again, a little bit more stick smoothing. And that's looking good. My modes should have come over, and they did. Beeper. LED low. Yeah, that's fun. Actually, I'm going to open up the LED low so that if it's in acro, it turns the LED off. And then if I'm in horizon, it'll turn the LED on. Flip over after crash is there. Launch control just for funsies. And let's save that. LED low, just on these AIOs, they have big bright LEDs built in. So LED low dims the LED in that switch position. It is set up for props out. Motor idle is 5.5. That's good. Bidirectional D-shot is turned off. We're going to try it with it off initially. And then we're going to turn off the OSD elements that they have on, which is just that one, it looks like. Okay. This looks good. Video transmitter, you know, they've got it all loaded up, and they've got it set on raceband 8. That's pretty cool. Power of 25, that's fine for in the house here. Low power disarm, I'm going to turn... They have their default setting is on. I don't like that. I like on until first arm. And then everything else looks good here. We'll just hit save. LED strip. It's not going to run it anyway because I turned that LED low thing on. And then none of the rest of this stuff we've got. So we're going to get this thing bound and just right in the air. And see what's going on with 2S on the BLV4. Hopefully it survives this time. So to bind your BLV4, it's very, very simple. You're going to give it power 3 times in a row, and on the 3rd time, it's going to go into bind mode. On your transmitter, you need to have Express LRS 2.5 on your module, rather. Well, although some transmitters have it. This is not one of them. If you are on Express LRS 3.0, you have to download a hex from Newbie Drone's GitHub that will make the the onboard ELRS work with 3.0. But if you're on 2.5 or 2.5.1 or whatever, if you're on a version between 2.5.0 and 3.0, but you're not on 3.0, here's the procedure. Turn on your transmitter.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Put your module or your transmitter into bind mode. And then plug the quad in 3 times quickly. Don't do it while you're looking in the mirror, chanting things. That won't go well for you. What's the, is it Beetlejuice? It's Beetlejuice that you say into the mirror 3 times, right? And then he shows up. I feel like there's another movie where that was the, how you summoned the demon. So we've got one battery down there. And then we put the second battery right on top here. Flat part away. And, all right, so now is when you want to put your transmitter into bind mode. So I'm going to hold the center button. Transmitter power, telemetry, bind mode. There we go. Press to send bind request. Press, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And now this guy is in bind mode. You can tell because there's a little blue LED on the front that's going to go blink, 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 blink. And now this, I didn't do it fast enough. This came out of bind mode. I'm going to hit the button again to send bind requests. And now that blue LED has gone from blink, blink to blink, blink, blink. And that means that it's bound. So now we can pull power from this again. And it should be bound. And you're going to look for that blue LED, and now it's doing the, it did a couple of slow blinks, but now it's solid on, and that's what we want, and it's bound up. There we go. Spins up nice and clean. Good sign. Let's give it a little bit of throttle and see what happens. Not happy. So we got to get it into the motors tab and get the motor spinning in the right direction. It just freaked out. I forgot to do that. All right, and we got to pull both batteries to do that to get access to the USB port. I can't believe I didn't think to do that. That's kind of stupid. When these things are on 2S, good Lord, do they make a lot more power. So be a lot more respectful. I still don't think it's going to really hurt you, but yeah, no reason not to be a little bit more careful with these 2S setups. The 1S tiny whoops you can be full disrespected nose with. All right, so we've got the batteries plugged in. We're going to jump back into Betaflight, and we're going to connect. We're going to go to the motors tab, and then let's just make sure the motors are in the right spot. They will be, but let's just do this real quick. Back right, that's spinning the right front. Back left, and the left front. So yeah, we're fine. Save that. The problem is the direction that the motors are spinning. Reconnect, motors, motor direction, understand the risks, the propellers are removed. Yeah, we'll be okay. And then wizard, start and spin motors. This is gonna spin all 4 motors, and then you need to just touch the hub of the motor, and you can feel what direction it's spinning in. 1 is incorrect, 2 is correct, 3 is incorrect. When you click the number, it reverses it for you. And then 4 is correct. So we are now good to go. We're going to click Stop Motors. We're going to close. I like to just double check them by clicking down here. And then on this master slider, you can just turn it up ever so slightly. And now you can check them. Motor 1 is now correct. Motor 2 is still correct. Motor 3 is now correct. And motor 4 is still correct. So now we're good to go. Click Stop Motors. That turns off the little switch. Disconnect. And all is right with the world. So I'm just going to put the Insta360 Go right the hell onto this thing. It's designed to carry it. I don't fly this rig without it. So yeah, I'm not even gonna bother testing this thing out without the Insta360 Go. It just doesn't make sense. Flat part away from me. So let's get these batteries loaded back up in here. Always got little rubber band loaded up in here. I got 6 discs. Who knows what movie that's from? Who knows? You knew. I'll be very impressed if somebody knows what You Knew is from. All right. Power. Insta360. And KV is 10,000. 1102, 10,000 KV on 6S. The KV is a little low for bi-blades, but for tri-blades, it's great. These are the Newbie Drone ASI tri-blades because they are incredibly quiet. And that's sort of the whole point of this rig, is to be absurdly quiet. Let's see if it flies. It's right here below the camera. I'm sure you guys got the wind noise from that. Seems to fly all right. Let's put it around the room a little bit. See what happens. It already seems to be behaving better than the other one did. But turtle mode is going to be the grand equalizer. That's what the other one. Well, we're going to get to try it right away. Nope. Yeah, so we still have that same problem. When I'm in turtle mode, let me show this to you guys. When I'm in turtle mode, and I gradually increase the power, watch and listen to what happens. Ready? When I get up to full throttle, it starts getting. You hear it? That, I don't know why that's happening. Let me try powering up a single motor. Yep, does the same thing on a single motor. There's something not right, man. I don't know what the deal is. Let me not Stevie Wonder this. Let me try to be more gentle on the turtle mode. There we go. Okay, so as long as I don't go absolutely full throttle on turtle mode, it's okay. Why am I getting a link quality warning? Alright, my OSD is gone. It's back. So we've still got OSD problems, but I do have the OSD on the top of the screen. Let's turn off the OSD. That's weird. Why didn't the rest of those turn off? Why am I getting link quality warnings? And the video looks awful. The link quality warnings are very concerning. Let's go upstairs and see if it fail-safes. No, seems to be alright. Oh god, I hate flying these things down the stairs with the Insta360 Go on it. Alright, let's just keep... Oh boy. Alright, I turned my OSD back on. Oh, I see what happened. When I turned the OSD off, those elements just froze on the screen. My god, the video looks bad. Look at all, like, the banding going on. What the hell's that about? Like, the red and blue banding going on is crazy. We're getting okay runtime. We're at 2 minutes and 20 seconds before the OSD disappears. This is the type of flying that you do with these tiny lifters, right? Slow and smooth. So this is a good representation of, there's a 14 in the middle of my screen, yeah, the runtime that you would get. All right. Push a little bit harder. Let me try turning. Oh, so I flipped the switch for no OSD right now. The link quality warning is very weird. Very, very, very weird. Alright, no, I'm gonna kill these batteries. Alright, so our runtime is back. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That is exactly what we want. This is not giving me the right stats. I usually ask for more stats. I thought that came over. So that is good news. I wonder if on the previous one, when I was hammering on turtle mode, I wonder if that's what hurt it. I don't understand what the deal is though with the turtle mode acting like that. That shouldn't. I'm very confused by that. I've never had that happen before, where at full stick on turtle mode, it just goes ballistic like that. That's very weird to me. Let's put it into Betaflight, and I'm going to take a look at the. I'm going to get the OSD a little bit cleaned up here, and I'm going to make sure that the post-flight stats are. No, see, well, oh here, yeah. I guess the post-flight stuff doesn't come over in the CLI, which is kind of annoying. Or maybe I just don't have it set up. Battery current draw maximum, yes, that's a good one. MAHUs, that's a good one. Battery voltage, that's a good one. That gives you the current battery voltage when you're looking at it after the flight. So you watch the battery bounce back up. Battery voltage and battery voltage minimum, that's a really important one. Black box, don't care about that. ESC RPM, nope, don't care. FFT maximum, I don't understand what the hell that is anyway, so I'm going to turn that off. G-force maximum, that's a fun one. Link quality minimum is a really good one. RSSI minimum is a good one too. Timer 1 is good. Speed maximum. All right, cool. So we're going to leave those on. And then, okay, when I turned the OSD off and it stayed on, that was just like a weird thing. Link quality. What is the link quality looking at? Is that looking at the RSS? It's obviously not looking at the RSSI. So link quality must be looking at the it's looking at the link quality. I'm special. Why is it? Very weird. Very, very weird. Ramdanko says 3D a whoop. The whoop propellers make 1/3 the thrust when you spin them backwards, so I don't think a 3D whoop is possible. I literally don't think it will make enough thrust. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. The alarm for RSSI is set to 30. Battery capacity is 350. That's wrong. Okay. Imperial metric British. Let me do this. Let me turn off the OSD elements that are up top, and we'll see if the OSD gets any better. No, I'll leave it on 1. So yeah, OSD profile 2 is where I'm usually at. So let's see if the OSD gets any better. Okay. Save that. And well, we're a set of batteries in. That's a good thing. I don't think we made it off the first set of batteries on the previous one. And I'm also really happy that it was able to turtle mode. I just need to remember to be really light on the turtle mode. I need to just very slowly push the turtle mode stick, the right stick around. C-Max says the link warnings are for RSSI, which is wrong for ELRS. I don't think that's true. I think link quality refers to, I'm pretty sure of it actually. The link quality only looks at, the link quality warning at least only looks at link quality. Which is, link quality is a much better value to look at over RSSI. RSSI is basically telling you, how can I explain this simply? RSSI it's valuable, and RSSI is related mainly to, it's mainly related to the noise floor. So basically, the RSSI factors in that. Here's the easiest way for me to describe it. RSSI factors in the noise floor, and the OSD is all messed up. So having those top elements be off does not fix the OSD. Whereas link quality is just a measure of how many packets of data are making it in between your transmitter and your AIO. So for me to be getting a link quality 4 feet away over here by the drum set is bad, because it means that I'm losing a whole bunch of packets, which just doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's start working the throttle here. Whoa, okay. So we got all kinds of problems at full throttle. So we've got okay. So that's the same thing that's happening at full throttle on turtle mode. And that is real bad. Alright, we need to get this into black box and take a look at what the hell? Let's try this. Well, let me see where the tune is at first. Because I can either back the tune off, or I can add filtering. And in order to make that decision, I need to know where the tune is at right now. So, let's take a quick look here. Ooh, the tune is not bad. Ooh, yeah, the tune is not bad at all. I think I need to add filtering, which is kind of nuts because there's an awful lot of filtering already. Let's check roll. Still a little bit of a wiggle. I've not been able to get the tunes on these tiny lifters all the way dialed in, which is fine, because you're flying it in a cinematic way, right? You're not doing hard movements. Interesting. So let's add some filtering and see. So when you have full throttle stuff like that, technically what you want to do is add TPA, but I really don't want the default TPA value is usually pretty dead on the money. And when you start adding TPA, like, you can get into a situation where you don't have enough PID authority at high throttle values. Probably won't be an issue with a rig like this. Yeah, we've already got a lot of filtering. This is weird. You know what's really weird? So this is not... All right. So the fact that it does it on turtle mode means that it's actually not an issue with the PIDs or the filters. It's not something that decreasing PIDs or adding filtering is going to help with. It tells me that it's a problem in the ESC. So Yeah, because turtle mode does not use the PID loop, and it's doing it in turtle mode. So, yeah, it's not something that making any adjustments to the PID loop or the filters is gonna be affected by. So let's do this. Let's go and get the ESC fired up and take a look at what the hell's going on there. In the meantime, I'm going to throw a couple of these batteries back on the charger. No, I'm not. We only got 10 minutes left, and I am absolutely starving. 2x3C says, you've noted the noisy video along with the link quality alarms. Maybe a bigger capacitor is needed to compensate for the jump to 2S from 1S voltage. I am not really willing to add capacitors to Tiny Whoop builds. There's really nowhere for them. And yeah, I'm just not willing to do it. The BLV3 does not have any of these problems. So if these problems continue, like, I just won't run the BLV4. I'll just try to stockpile the BLV3s, especially now that I know that there's no weight difference between the BLV4 and the BLV3 with an EP2 on top, which we looked at the beginning of the stream. But let's get this thing into... Let's see what the hell is going on with the ESC here. ESCconfigurator.com, you need to put power to the AIO in order to get it to fully connect here. And this is one of the other issues that I had with the previous BLV4, is that it actually would not connect to the ESC configurator here. So let's take a look if that was just a fluke. Trying to read 4 ESCs. Reading ESC1. So it is on BlueJ, but it's on BlueJ version 0.16. So let's get it updated. Let's so we're reverse normal. So we come down here to flash all ESCs. This is not going to fix the problem, for the record. But we're going to get it onto version 0.18.1. And then for PWM frequency, we're going to do 48. 96 is almost always hot garbage. Let me get caught up on chat. Steady Eddie says, link quality alarm limit in the CLI. Yeah, the CLI is where you can adjust the value that the link quality alarm turns on at, but the default value is good on every other rig. What the hell is happening here? Why is this stuck here? Oh man, come on now. Shit, did I put dead batteries on there? Well, I mean, they're not dead batteries, but they're also not fully charged batteries. Oh man, come on now. Don't do this to me. Oh man. This is not good when it gets halfway through flashing and oh fuck. I did not fly these batteries all the way down, man. I came in with plenty of power to spare. Oh no. This is bogus. Yeah, I mean, that's been sitting there for a while. Oh, the transmitter is on. Damn it. For some strange reason, you have to turn your transmitter off, or the ESC configurator gets really upset. It's the weirdest thing. Well, that's true on Happy Model. I don't know if that's also true on Newbie Drone. Oh, man, this blows. This might... Oh, man. I hope this doesn't brick it. Please don't brick. Alright, I've now removed power. Let me hook these up to the... Nah, see, these batteries are at 3.8, so it was not that. But I did have the... Alright, so I have to unplug it. Oh, boy. Please be okay, little fella. Please be okay. Please be okay. All right. AIO has power again. I'm going to reload ESC configurator, connect, and read settings. All right. Flash failed. Let's try this again. We're going to go to BlueJ, 0.18.1, 48, and flash. Yeah. Go. All right, I think we got away with it. Woo! That was scary. Awesome. All right, we're back. Cool. So I think it was normal. It was, it was reverse normal. So I need to change the motor direction on, I mean, I don't need to, but I might as well change the motor direction on ESC1. So that I don't have to go back into the motor direction thing in the configurator. Steady Eddie says, yep, we got that. 2X Swissy says, link quality is the percentage of good ELRS packets getting through. Change the alarm level in the CLI. I use 50. What's the default for that alarm? All right, cool. So some of the other stuff that I do here as I turn on, brake on, stop, I do the beacon delay down to 2 minutes. This way, if the ESC gets no signals from the flight controller for 2 minutes, it just starts beeping. And I turn the beacon strength up a little bit. On Tiny Whoops, it's awful quiet. Startup power is awful low. Oh, I remember this problem from last time. It won't let me change the startup power. This is really weird, man. Let's write these settings. But now it will let me change it. So let me turn it up a little bit. I'm not going to turn it up a ton. Just a little bit here. And then we're going to write settings again. Okay. So reverse normal. We are on BlueJ 0.18, 48K across the board. Let's disconnect and let's see if that fixes anything. I can't imagine that it will, but you never know. BlueJ 0.16, to my knowledge, didn't have any issues. So I don't think this is going to fix anything, but we did up the startup power a little bit. I wonder if this could be a timing thing. Let's try it with those changes, and then I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to fiddle around with some other stuff. Ethan W says, back to those 2 batteries with no XT30. I can take them off your hands. Ethan, do you have a good use for them? They're all yours. Just message me. All my contact info is over on my website, CiottiFPV.com. Remdago says, fan in the room may add light breezes in places. I've got a fan over there. Yep. Prince McQueen says, no worries, BlueJays doesn't usually brick ESC when this happens. Great to hear that. All right, so we're cool. Fresh set of batteries. We'll leave those that are at 3.8 off. So yeah, the strange saga of the BLV4 on 2S continues. I have never had this behavior in the... I'm probably into the hundreds. I've probably built into the hundreds of different setups and used different ESCs and flight controllers. I have never experienced what I'm experiencing here, which usually that doesn't bode well, right? Like that usually means that there's a component that's not up to the task. So I mean, this is happening at full throttle. So like I wonder if the FETs that are being used here are just not up to the task or something like that. You know what I mean? Don't be a douche. Why does it say that I'm at 4.44 volts? The transmitter is sitting on battery warning. Come on, man. Don't beep. There's absolutely no reason for you to beep right now. All right, here we go. That's not full throttle yet. My God, look how awful the video looks. And it doesn't really get much better when I turn the OSD off. And there's that link quality warning again. I wouldn't expect that to go away from changing the ESC settings, though. Well, that's interesting. The problem is gone, but these batteries feel kind of soft. I think I might have 2 batteries in here that are kind of worked. Oh, for Christ's sakes. What am I looking at here? Looking at the back wall of that cube. My God, I can barely see anything. Well, all right. So let me turn this thing over, and let's see what happens in turtle mode. Well, now we're fine. Although it won't turtle mode over. Oh, nope, nope. It's still doing it. I can still hear it doing it. Yeah, you see it on the ground. You see it like... Wow, what the hell is happening here? What is going on? Yeah, these batteries are just a little bit more whooped than the previous set that I had on here. Let's get it back into ESC configurator, and I'm gonna screw around with the timing. Maybe this is a timing issue. I might bug Ryan about this a little bit and see if he has any thoughts. He's kind of the ESC guru. I don't think there's anybody in FPV that knows more about ESCs than Ryan. Most of us don't know shit about shit when it comes to ESCs. It's kind of just this little black magic part of FPV that nobody really learns about. Myself most definitely included. But before we go down that route, let's just back is hurting. So I moved up the startup power a little bit, but when you're at full throttle, the startup power doesn't really do anything. Temperature protection is on. Motor timing is at medium high. Let's move it all the way to low. Let's make a big change. So medium high is where it was. Demag compensation. Demag compensation would not have anything to do with this issue that we've got. And then ramp up would not have anything to do with either. So let's write the settings with the motor timing down nice and low. And let's see what's up. Kevin Sumner says you calibrate your ESCs. CMAX says what D-shot setting in Betaflight 300, D-shot 300. None of these little F4s will take anything more than D-shot 300. Okay. So I think that wrote settings. Let's just make sure. No changes. All right, good. Let's disconnect. And I'm going to use these same batteries because they were freaking out in turtle mode. You know, I'm just going to hold the damn thing. I'm not even going to mount the batteries. I'm just going to hold the damn thing. And I'm going to go into turtle mode, and we're going to see if it freaks out. Come on. There we go. All right, turtle mode. Armed. Now I can feel it. So when I ramp it up, smooth, smooth, smooth. Yep, when I get up to full throttle, it starts to... Oh, this is weird, man. This is really, really weird. Well, let's go up to high. Let's go up to motor timing high. And now that I'm holding it and doing this test, in theory, maybe I can feel that it's better or worse. That'll be super interesting. All right. Back in. Connect. Read settings. 661 says, just got off work. Is it broken yet? Sorta. All right, we're going to move the timing all the way up to high. Nice big change. I'm tempted to change the DMAG compensation, but we're going to make one change at a time here. Right settings. ESC 1, 2, 3, 4. Disconnect. All right, pull USB. Pull one of the batteries. Other battery back in. Give it a second to link up. And Frank Nicholas says, motor not mounted tightly. Nope, motors are good to go. This rig was flying perfectly fine on the BLV3. The only change is moving it to the BLV4. And this is exhibiting all the same behaviors as the previous BLV4. All right, let's see. It might be doing it a little bit less. Still doing it, though. I can still feel it. Oh, that's interesting. All right, well, now it's being really weird. But only on the front motors? What the hell? Now it's being fine. Oh, nope. Now it's being really weird again. I'm keeping the throttle in the same position. It's turning off and on and off and on. The front motors don't seem to be... I'm confused. I'm very confused. Let me see what voltage these batteries are at. It seems to maybe be a little bit better. 3.98, 3.81. Yeah, so one of these this battery is hammered ass. But luckily I put that first set of batteries on the charger and they're good. So I'm going to put this first set of batteries on here and we're going to do it again. It might just not be getting enough. Here's my suspicion. My suspicion is that they used a different FET. Oh, and we can check that. We can actually check that. My suspicion is that they used a different FET on the BLV4, and that's where the problem is. That is a shot in the dark, but sometimes my shots in the dark are right. All right, let's see. Nope. Here, and that's actually worse. So yeah, those two batteries I was running a second ago are they're just so worked that they're not delivering enough power at full throttle to trigger this issue. So my FET theory is based on the fact that the BLV3 only had an FrSky receiver on board, and now the BLV4 has an ELRS receiver. And oh, I wonder if it could be maxing the CPU out. One thing that I know about when you put when the ELRS is set up on a UART, somebody in chat will know this. When the ELRS is set up on a UART, does it still use CPU cycles? I know that when ELRS is SPI based, it hammers on the processor. Is that the same for when it's UART based? I think that when ELRS is UART based, it does not use the onboard CPU, which is one of the big advantages of... Kevin Sumner says ELRS UART does not use CPU as much. Okay, we can very easily remove the CPU maxing out from the equation here by dropping nope, CPU, it can't be CPU usage because it's happening inside of turtle mode and turtle mode is not running the PID loop. But let's just remove that from the equation anyway. Let's do this. We can ease a ton of the burden on the CPU by dropping the PID loop frequency down. Man, this is not going to affect turtle mode though. I don't know. Maybe turtle mode does still have the PID loop weirdly running in the background. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. This is a step in the right direction here. Okay, so the PID loop frequency is now turned way the hell down. This is not gonna. There'll be no change here, but I'm pretty sure that this is a hardware problem. Let's take a quick look. This is a quick thing to test here. Okay. Turtle mode on. Nope. Okay. All right. Ruled that out. What's next? What's next? Next thing I want to check is which FETs is the BLV4 using different FETs than the BLV3? And the easiest way to check that is in ESC configurator. Let me show you this. I don't think I've ever really talked about this. You could certainly pull the AIO out and get your fucking magnifying glass and look at the numbers, try to find the FETs, and then look at the numbers that are stamped onto the FETs. But there's a much easier way. You plug in USB, you provide power, you connect in ESC configurator, you read settings, and then you look at, so this SH40, that's what you need to know. So it shows up here as it's reading the ESCs. My transmitter is on, so it's having a hard time. Turning the transmitter off. Okay, done reading ESCs. So here it is, right here. This is going to clue you in. I don't think this is the actual name of the FET, but there are a million of these different... well, so you can see it in here. If you go to flash all ESCs, it's this right here. That I always tell you guys to never, ever, ever change. This is specific to the FET. This might be the model number of the FET. I don't think it is, but never, ever, ever change this because you'll brick the damn thing. But SH40, this is the BLV4. The BLV4 has SH40. That's all I wanted to check. Now we're going to cancel, disconnect, and now we're going to hook up the other, the BLV3, I should say. So SH40 is on the BLV4. Let's see what's on the BLV3. Give it power. If it's the same SH40, I'm going to be surprised. I think the FETs are the problem here. Read settings, let's see. Oh shit, I was wrong. It is SH40. Okay. Okay. So they're using the same FETs. Ooh, shit. That, damn it. What the hell is going on here? 661 says, not the FETs, but the ESC processor. That's kind of another thing I was maybe thinking. Maybe the ESC processor is running out of power. 661 says, I've heard that BLV4 uses some different kind of ESC processor. Interesting. Where'd you hear that, 661? I'm sure you heard it on Facebook. Did you hear from anybody that there's any chance of them being intelligent on Facebook? Or just like a random person that you don't know who they are. Well, I've definitely got more info that I can bring to Kelvin about this. That's for sure. We definitely learned a bunch. Frank Nicholas says, I'm pretty sure the SH40 is not the FETs, it's the ESC CPU. Ah! That's awesome. I just assumed that it was the FETs. There was really no... there was no... I didn't like dig into that or anything like that. I'm gonna move the motor timing back to where it was. I didn't change anything here. I wonder if... I mean, I'm tempted to change it to 24K, but the performance decrease on 24K is gonna... Let's change it to 24K. Let's change it to 24. Because here's a hunch. Maybe 24K will ask less of the ESC processor. At this point, if I can... It kind of doesn't matter what this is. If I can give Kelvin enough data, he can probably figure it out. Or at least give me an answer as to what the hell's going on. So let's try it on 24. Let's try it on 24. This is a huge change, and like the flight performance and the thrust is going to get affected by 24. And like if you can't run this BLV4 on 24K, or on 48K rather, I'll just stick with the BLV3. But I would just love to figure this out a little bit. Because yeah, maybe there's something that can be done. But this is weird. This is very, very weird. I'm super confused here. I'm super bummed out that I ripped this rig apart again, and I'm having these problems again. Nope. Is it better though? It's still doing. I don't care if it's better. It's still doing it, and I can kind of tell that it's hard. I'm pretty sure that that's why the first one blew up, and so I don't want to keep doing it. Like I don't want to blow another one of these up. Like these are expensive. It's very cool that Newbie Drone is sending these to me, but yeah, I don't want to blow them. I don't want to just sit it on full throttle when it's getting all upset and blow another one of these up. Shit, transmitter's still on. I guess I can try changing DMAG, but that's not going to change. Let's flash these back to 48. Man, this is super confusing. Super, super, super confusing. 661 says, Blue Jay configured had to update to work with the new ESC processor. It was on the FPV News with Bardwell. Blue Jay configurator had to update to work. Oh, that's interesting. 661 also says, still could be reaching the max current availability of the FETs or the board. Just got here, really haven't seen what it's doing. You're running 2S, right? Yeah, even though you just got here 661, that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like this is a hardware issue, mainly because it's doing it in turtle mode. Turtle mode does not have the PID loop active, right? So this isn't a filtering problem. This is not a PID problem. I think it's a hardware problem because like we're using the same settings that we always do in here, you know? RPM limits how much power can be increased and how fast the motor. Lowering values will avoid power spikes, but can also decrease acceleration. PWM dithering increases the effective PWM down. That's 2000. Leave this. I mean, I don't want to just go one by one changing things. Like I want there to be some thought process to this. Let's change demag to high. I mean, this is me just randomly changing something. There's no real thought to this, but demag was one of the things that was being talked about a lot in this very brief period that everybody was talking about ESC settings being the fix for toothpicks.
Welcome to OpenTX.
So let's give it a try. Damn. Nope, still doing it. Okay. Well, it's not really flyable like this. I can't go. The main reason that I don't consider it to be flyable like this is that if I need to get out of a hairy situation and I go full throttle and it's going to be doing this shit, I'm going to crash and I might lose the rig, and I ain't playing that game with a $300 Insta 360 Go on here. So I'm at this point where I think I just need to type this all out to Kelvin and ask him if his guys can figure out a solution to this. And until they do, I just can't run the BLV4. It has nothing to do with maximum braking or brake on stop. Maybe it has to do with PWM dithering. I have no idea what the hell PWM dithering is. This little description in the tooltip doesn't make any sense to me. Has nothing to do with the beacon delay, nothing to do with beacon strength or beep strength. Maybe it has something to do with RPM power protection, but again, I don't know what the hell this is. I wouldn't need to go. I wouldn't know whether to go up or down on this. Demag compensation. We could turn it off, but low to high had no change. Motor timing didn't seem to do a damn thing. Temperature protection. Maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know. It's turned all the way up. I mean, I guess I could disable it. But I feel like a better. I feel like a better bet would be to tell Kelvin everything that I've played with tonight and let his folks maybe dive in. Because we're just throwing darts, and I'm not going to spend the next half an hour just continuing to throw darts. I mean, it is quick to make these changes. Man, would I love to kind of at least get somewhere with this. Let's make one more change. Just one more. Let's just make one more change. I also don't like that I'm stressing this thing out over and over and over again. So we messed with these. Let's turn temperature protection off. Ooh, this seems like a bad idea. 6S1 says try different props, some that use less current just for testing. That would definitely help, but that's not a solution that leaves me with something I can fly. I know that that'll help because earlier on, when I was running batteries that were kind of like older and more beat up, it was not doing this as bad. But I need this thing to fly good, so yeah. The reason why Kelvin's not having this problem on his 2S rig, I think, is that he has a less powerful setup. Or maybe he just didn't notice it, because it is subtle, and it only happens at full throttle. But this needs to work. This AIO is rated for 2S. Nope, I'm still doing it. This is rated for 2S, and Yeah. If you're gonna, and these aren't even the high kV motors. These are the lower kV Newbie drone flow motors, right? So yeah. If it's gonna be like this, then you kind of can't rate this AIO for 2S in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Bugs FPV says, I'm looking for a dead cat frame that uses the same top and bottom plates. Ooh, good luck on that one. But has different length arms available. I know the Cinerad is almost like that, just looking for others 3, 4, 5 inch. Yeah, you're... Oh boy. ESC3 might have shit the bed. Although the transmitter did not shut off, so hold on. Let's disconnect and pull power. Yeah, I don't know of a single frame that uses the same top and bottom plate. Ah, ESC3 is back. Okay, cool. So let's turn temperature protection back on, and let's turn off. Let's do less protection. Somebody type 9x into chat. Let's do less protection on the RPM power protection ramp up, whatever the hell that is. Right settings. There aren't many other settings that we can change here, so I figure what the hell. Let's go all the way in. Transmitter coming back on. Thanks off axis and Kiz. Okay. All right. Nope, still doing it. Well, I think that's everything. I mean, I could turn that RPM thing all the way off, but it didn't seem to make any difference just now. So, at the moment, for a tiny lifter, BLV4 does not seem like an option. Oh, wait, no. PWM dithering. Let's turn that off. Although it seems like it's kind of important from this little tooltip. But let's try it without it. And it's talking about steps, which is not going to have anything to do with turtle mode. But we've now changed everything. One at a time. So, I think this kind of rules out it being any kind of a software-related thing, and I think this leads us down the road of this being a hardware issue. All right, let's see. And Denzel says, "What's the problem in the first place?" Listen to what happens when I ramp up turtle mode. And this happens at all times when you ramp the throttle up. Listen. Hear that? At full throttle, it goes all crazy. The fuck is that about? That's in turtle mode. So that rules out everything PID and filter related. Okay, so we've changed all of the available settings in BlueJ. We've updated BlueJ. We have... Yeah. So I'm going to put it back. And I'm going... It's BlueJ's mating call. And yeah, I'm going to have a conversation with Kelvin. And see if... I'm sure that he won't just know it offhand. But maybe he can have his devs take a look, dive in, and figure it out. It has nothing to do with bidirectional D-shot, CMAC. That's not even turned on. But bidirectional D-shot would not be running in turtle mode. Turtle mode just sends power to the ESC. That's it. So yeah, I guess that's the end of our BLV4 round 2. Brandon's Baked Beans with an interesting idea. He says flash BLRS and see if it's normal. That's easy to do. Let's do that real quick. That's easy to do. I don't even know if it'll run on BLRS, but that's a great final step. 2 times Wissy says, I've seen similar behavior in the past on a micro EDF when the motor is trying to spin faster at max throttle than the ESC could handle. 6S1 says it sounds like anti-lag. Not quite. Almost. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a very high... I can't imagine it's that, because this is only a 10,000 kV motor. So 2S, now we're talking 20,000 kV. 20,000 kV is not that much. I've had this BLV4 on 32,000 kV motors, and it wasn't an issue. I think this has to do with the FETs not being able to handle the amount of voltage maybe that are going through them. But yeah, I don't think it's a... Yeah, we're not turning that much RPM. We're pushing more power. I think this is more related to like power and just, yeah, Oompa Loompa. Flash all ESCs, firmware, BLES, select version, latest master, flash. I can do this because I'm not using... This is not like a permanent solution here, because I want to be able to use... Damn it, this transmitter got left on. Ooh, I turned the transmitter off just in time though. Yeah, I need to be able to use RPM filtering on these tiny lifter builds. But this is an interesting step in this troubleshoot. And this is also going to be the last step. This is it. 6S1 says, how about a capacitor? I'm not willing to add a capacitor to these builds. It's just stupid. I can just go back to the BLV3 and all is well. A tiny whoop build with a capacitor is just silly. There's nowhere to put it. It's just silly. All right. Last troubleshoot here. Does BLLES fix the issue? It won't, but you never know. I have seen weirder things.
Welcome to OpenTIA.
Turtle mode, connected. Wow, here's what I will say. BLLES makes a lot less power. Holy shit. That is a... Let me check the voltage on these batteries, but that is a lot less thrust than on Blue Jay. 4.1. Now, these batteries are fine. Wow, that was a huge difference in thrust output. Jeez. And it was still doing it. Very weird. Very, very, very weird. At the moment, though, if you're going to build a tiny lifter, don't do it with a BLV4. Try to figure out a way to get a BLV3 and put an EP2 on it, and it'll weigh the same. Fuck, transmitter's still on. Yo, it is annoying to have to shut the transmitter off every time you go into screw around with the ESC. Wow, very, very, very strange. I am stumped, and I have a funny feeling that Kelvin might be stumped too. Hopefully his tech folks can figure it out though. Damn. That's a shame. I'm just going to continue to put this back onto Blue Jay, and then that's it. I mean, there's really nothing. There's nothing else. There's nothing else here. Just for the sake of argument, though, let me go in. I'm gonna add a shitload of filtering, and I'm gonna just cripple the PIDs. Just because we didn't do that, we're gonna do that. It's almost certainly not gonna do anything. But hold on, let me put the settings back here. Break on stop, 2 minutes, right settings. And let me get the motor spinning the right direction. Reversed, normal, right settings. Okay. All right. Disconnect. And now we're going to hop into Betaflight real quick here. Oops. And, okay. Wow, this is up there, man. Like I've troubleshot hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rigs and problems over the last 6+ years, but this is out there. This is way the hell out there. So we're gonna pull this master multiplier way down to 0.4. This will also confirm the belief that turtle mode does not run the PIDs or the filters. And then we're just going to move the D-term filter all the way up to... oh, wait, no, not all the way up, not all the way up. Move it all the way down. And we're going to move the gyro filter all the way down, too. All right, so we've got a practically infinite amount of filtering now. And we've got super, super, super low PIDs. Let's just confirm that with our own eyes and ears that that turtle mode has no that in turtle mode the PID loop and the filtering are turned all the way off. Okay. And whoa, what? Oh, turtle mode switch was not on. Yep. Still doing it. Okay, that's it. We've tried everything. Hopefully, this is really good info for Newbie Drone to have. Not hopefully, it is. It is. This is really good info for Newbie Drone to have, because they're going to have people that do 2S. You know, I'm not the only person that has done 2S on these Acrobee boards. The turtle mode settings in the CLI, Michael D, we have explored in the past. They don't really do much of anything. They're just like Expo. It just adjusts. Like, yeah, you can't turtle mode. You can't change anything of value with turtle mode in the CLI. It's all like kind of nonsense stuff. You can't change the max amount of power. Turtle mode seems to be very simple. It's just a direct line from your sticks to the ESC, and it just ramps the motors right on up. Wow, man, this is incredibly confusing. Incredibly confusing. We could just drop the motor output limit down, just make a bunch less power, but then the rig is like basically not flyable, and the BLV3 you don't have to do that. So yeah, at the moment, if you're gonna do a tiny lifter, you got to use a BLV3 or V2 or V1 if you can find them. I've built tiny lifters with all three, and they've been completely fine. But yeah, you can't buy the BLV2 or 1 at this right now anymore. I assume if you guys could think of anything else, you'd be putting it into the chat. But damn. This also rules out that previous ESC that cooked was just, I mean, it doesn't totally rule it out, but it pretty much rules it out, right? This is 2 of these AIOs in a row that are doing this exact same thing. The other one, I was like sitting it on the stop. I was sitting it in that bad behavior, and then in like 2 batteries later, or 1 battery later, it cooked. So this time I would just, as soon as it would do that weird warbling thing, I would back off, and that's why this AIO has not exploded yet. And that's also why it's kind of leading me down this path of this being like a FET related kind of thing. Wow, this is strange. I guess I'm going to leave this together. I guess I'm not going to pull this apart again because this AIO is fine, and maybe there is some kind of a software or hex fix that that Newbie Drone can come up with. Wow, this is weird. Weird, man. Weird. So, yeah, I mean, it's either a physical component. They changed... They either changed a physical component between the V3 and the V4, like the FETs, and that could be where this is coming from, or I guess there could be something in the hex that changed, but that wouldn't make any sense. Why would they not just take their previous hex and modify it to include Express LRS? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it being software related really doesn't make any sense to me. Wow. Super odd. Bugs FPV says turn some filters off. That's not it. 661 says try different props. We talked about that. Brandon Woodford says you really shouldn't have to change anything like these settings in the ESC. Very true. Don't go too far down the rabbit hole. The only reason why I went this far down the rabbit hole is to give Kelvin more info. Itchy Sack says hello. 661 says, looks like you need a higher KV 1S setup. 1003 22,000 just got released. No, I've tried a ton of different 1S setups. None of them come even close to being able to pick up a 26 gram load. To be honest, like the fact that these things work at all is shocking. The tiny lifters should not be able to do what they do. They should not be able to lift up a 26 gram payload. That's crazy. So we are almost certainly like at the limit of what these can handle. But like, I haven't blown up a BLV3 yet on a tiny lifter. I haven't flown tons of batteries on them, but and you can't argue with how quiet this is and the flight performance, right? So yeah, 1S is definitely not an option. It's just, yeah, it just doesn't have it. Regardless of KV, we could put like a 30,000 KV 1102 on 1S, and it's just not going to do it. It's just going to, the 1S batteries just don't have, they just don't have it. They just don't have they don't have enough to carry something like this. To pick up this heavy of a load, it's got to be 2S. Realistically, it should probably be on 3S. But yeah, 2S has it. Damn. Ethan W says, speaking of bad AIOs, what are some not bad AIOs that are 1 or 2S rated? The BLV3. The BLV3 is, and the 2 and the 1. I've tested those extensively on 2S, and they're fine. They don't last forever, like you're pushing them to the edge of their ability, but that's it. I mean, there are no other 2S options, really. Technically, the Happy Model X12 claims to be 2S compatible, but that AIO dies pretty frequently on 1S. So to put it on 2S, I'm not even doing it. Like, I'm not even going to do it. It also won't fit in this frame, and this frame is a big part of what makes this whole combo kind of work. So yeah, 2S is really rough. 2S is really tough to do on an AIO that has a VTX built in and a receiver built in. And at the moment, the BLV3 is still is the only way to go. Just getting caught up on chat here, and then we're going to wrap up. Leonard Ritson says, how can I tell which bead brain I have? Just plug it into Betaflight, and it'll tell you right in the, it'll tell you right here. For example, here's a BLV3. And there you go, BLV3. All right, so yeah, I'm not gonna pull this thing back apart again. I am gonna leave it together, and maybe there's a software solution. But I gotta be honest, I don't think there will be. I don't think there will be. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Where was I at in chat? There we go. Kevin Sumner says, does it do the warble when ramped up from the motors tab too? It almost certainly will, because it was doing it when I was flying it around. It was doing it when I was going full throttle flying it around. But no reason to not check it real quick. Motors. Understand the risks. Oh, no, that's fucked up. Why is it not doing it? What the hell? And this is why we test. Hold on, let me check the voltage on these batteries. Once the batteries sag down a little bit, it stops doing it. And they are starting to sag down, 4.07. But what the hell? Let's just fire one motor up in here. Oh, it does it when I just do it on one motor. Okay, so it's still doing it, but when I fire up all four motors, it's sagging. These batteries are finally sagging down enough that it's not doing it. But it's still doing it. Yeah, so it's still there. It's still there. The batteries are just sagging down. Okay. Cool. That I say cool because that means that we're still... I still think I'm right about it being a hardware issue. Very, very strange. Michael Z says Kevin Sumner had a good idea for testing. I think that's the motors tab question. CMYK says absolutely building a tiny lifter ASAP. 661 says try a different flight controller, that should fix it. Nope. This is the second one in a row that's doing it. Mother Edson says you should confirm with Newbie Drum that you're flashing the correct ESC type, SH40. I guess, although the V4, both V4s were SH40 and the VH and the BLV3 is also SH30. So, and I mean I didn't change these, right? It was set up like I doubt they have the wrong one from the factory. Manjaro Black says you're still online. Got my Neutron F411 today. Just waiting for fractal meter frames to do tomorrow. Very cool. 61 says, I run 660 mAh 1S on my 75 with a run cam split, 1002, 22,000s. I know it's not as heavy as the Insta360, but it flies really well. Big enough 1S LiPo won't have sag. A big enough 1S LiPo won't have sag. Interesting idea. The problem would be how to mount that the battery. This Cockroach 75 frame has pretty specific mounting provisions. I would need to switch to a different frame, and my experience with non-carbon fiber braced frames on the tiny lifters is that too many vibrations get to the gyro, and it just doesn't really work right. So this is kind of the only frame that I've found that this combo works right on. Interesting. Run cam thumb is a lot lighter. or RenCam split rather, is a lot lighter. This is yeah, 26 grams is brutal. Kevin Sumner says, I think it's either hardware like Fat Choice or possibly something screw with Newbie Drone's Betaflight fork. Yeah, weird. Well, I've still got the black one, which is amazing on a BLV3. So, wow, what a frustrating troubleshoot. Man, I was sure that I was going to throw this together and it would be good to go. God damn it. Michael D says, what about the solder points for the power leads? No, I mean, it's done this on two ESCs in a row, and like I inspected them and they're fine. So yeah, it's not that. Wow, strange. Kevin Sumner with the last comment of the live stream, he says, maybe try the Tune. No! Maybe try the Tune RC Easy AIO. It's the one FPV Cycle sells for the Baby 2 with 1S and 2S, needs a soldered VTX and RX. Yeah, I can't have it. On these tiny lifter builds, there's literally nowhere to put anything else. All the extra space on the bottom is taken up by the extra battery, the second battery, and then up on top, it's just a clusterfuck inside of the canopy. So like, yeah, it has to have flight controller ESC built in. Not to mention that like these tiny whoop builds with the external VTX and receivers it just sucks. Like that's just. Yeah, it's just the worst. So, yeah, this is a fairly specific build in terms of like packaging, like where to put shit, but also like keeping weight down, keeping simplicity down, and whatnot. So yeah, and again, the BLV3 is good to go. The BLV3 is like perfect. The only thing that's annoying about it is that the video quality looks like crap because of the because of what Newbie Drone does with their it's really annoying. Like I would really like to try an X12 AIO in order to get better video quality, but the X12 AIO is oversized and it won't fit in this frame. So now I have to run it on some other frame. And I've had this experience in the past of trying it on the Mobula 7 frames, and they were it seems to really need the carbon fiber brace. Technically, I could run it on the Fractal 75 frame, and then I could just run the Fractal frame with a Goober canopy on top. I don't know, man. I guess that's what I could do if I wanted to do this. But see, the problem is so many of you guys have had myself included, have had the X12 AIOs blow up that I really don't want to put a $300 Insta360 Go up in the air on a Happy Model AIO. You know? And if the X12s are blowing up on 1S, they're going to certainly blow up on 2S. So it's just like, right? I don't know. BLV3 works totally fine, and I've got two of them. So I think that the tiny lifter build might just be specific to that AIO to get it as light as this and whatnot. So thanks for hanging, friends. I'm going to stop rambling. Here's some flying and some epidemic sounds. And I will check you guys out on Friday. I don't know what we're going to be doing, but we'll do something on Friday. Here's a little bit more of the 75mm Jungle Gym Basher with, what motors are these? 0802. Okay, yeah. So this is the 1S 75mm. It is Mobula 7 1S ELRS with tinywhoop.com 0802 27,000 kV motors, which are magic because they have 1.5mm shafts. See you guys on Friday. Thanks for hanging out. CiottiFPV.com to support me. This is my full-time job, and I do rely on your guys' support and need your support. So check me out, click some things. Later. Hold on, I gotta click some buttons. This button, this button, this button.
Ancestors sending clues, I'm sending gratitude back. Cause the whole world outside, sun in my eye, a girl in my ride, head in the sky. We gon' make it if we try. The truth never lies, wings we could fly. With you by my side. This morning, oh yeah, and I woke up this morning. Not every day is easy, but I'ma keep it breezy. Not every day is easy, but I'ma keep it breezy. I'm like a caterpillar turned into a butterfly. I'm on the grass, it's always greener on the other side. And we gon' make it out the struggle, though we traumatized. I used to take this life for granted, I apologize. So thankful I'm alive, this jungle I survive. I'm on a natural high, just like the east side rise. My ass is sunny side, it's up to you to decide. Get on my level, tell the devil go somewhere and hide. The whole world outside, sun in my eye, a girl in my